Welcome to Things Invest. Talk about investing, finance, fresh development. For today's terms only. The investment top today will be Cardano, ticker ADA. So this has been highly requested from my friends on YouTube here. So I really appreciate you guys for reaching out and asking for specific questions. So I'm gonna go through a technical analysis, knowing the fact that we've been surging relatively severely recently. Is this a good time to buy, or is it a good time for probably cooling off a little bit now? So I'm gonna go through that technical specifically to understand the psychology behind the charts and the relationship behind MACD and RSI. So stay tuned, stay around, let's make some money. Moving on to the technical analysis for Cardano, ticker ADM, request of 9:37 a.m. on Eastern time. Current trend like basically $2, $1.99. And with respect to the recent surge that we've seen so far, ever since the bottom of the B Word Summit, right, was on the 20th, so it matches with all the other crypto asset class. And you can see that ever since that we've been having some positive news that's been percolating. And then one recent macro news that incentivized the institutional investors to buy a large volume of Cardano on that specific date. You can see that on the 10th, basically 8 days ago, last week on Tuesday, and subsequently we have some more institutional buying activities, and then with a combination of obviously public investors chasing in at the same time. And as we see, we had that golden crossover form here, and then subsequently the percolations. And what you're seeing right now with this activity that durates basically from the 10th all the way to the apex on the 14th, this is a major manipulations right here, right? This does not occur in a normal course of cadence. This requires a lot of buying activities from large money pumping in, right? And if you take a look at the MACD, you will understand that we are extremely stretched up. So this is not logically supposed to happen. If you look at that comparisons historically, right? And again, that the best time frame was to buy around the percolations, because when you're trading on a sideways fashion, right, and at the same time, it looks kind of like a wedge at the same time. But this is not really a formation of public investors buying activities. This is mainly driven by a whale manipulations activity. You could tell that specifically. It looks almost like a whale if you look at the curvature, right? And I think we hit the apex already. And I don't think we are actually going to keep surging up above the level that we had. I think that was it, pretty much. And we are forming a curvature downward right now. And what you need to understand right now is that whatever goes up really, really fast comes down just as fast. That RSI is highly overbought right now. We were extremely overbought. You see how extremely overbought we were on the 13th, which was the apex, as you can see, right? And now we need to go through the oscillations. The ball is basically, it hit this apex, so it's slowly coming down the trajectory. It's coming back down to the field, and RSI needs to cool down extremely. So what that means is that we're going to see some sell-off incurring. I wouldn't be surprised if we see like one large surge just to match up, and then people start FOMOing in because like, oh, Cardano's going to keep pumping because it's pumped so much already. It's going to keep going. That's how public investors think, right? But the whales are basically waiting on another opportunity to dump the market, and they cannot just do it so promptly, right? With just a red candle. Remember, people have bought in at these levels, right? So they're probably gonna pump us one more time, and then it's gonna form some sort. This is like basically like a dead cat bounce, if you may, and then people are gonna be falling to that trap called a bull trap, and that's how you are going to be holding your bags, if you may. So that's something to be mindful of. The risk is definitely extremely high right now for Cardano, so I would be investing at your own risk. But for me, I would stay away, because ultimately I'm just an investor in both Bitcoin and Ethereum. I used to hold a little bit Cardano, but I sold because of the surge that we incurred in the past. But yeah, so that's my point of view. My deciphering of the technicals and what the chart's telling us. All right, just to recap on the numbers and technical analysis for Cardano, we're running extremely hot right now, so I would advise just not buying. I'll probably short it, to be honest with you, based on how it's running so far. But if you want to buy in, I would definitely practice patient again, right? Comparable to other assets that we have been talking about on the crypto side, right? And these are the frames of reference you want to follow. The first level, which is $1.20. The next level would be $1.14. And these are good sideways consolidation that we've had percolating before the big surge to hit the $2 mark, if you may, right? But if you basically crash down, the next level will be a relatively steep drop, right? Almost like a 10 cents drop, right? Which will get us to $1.05 level. So definitely want to be careful. So this is for respect my technical analysis on Cardano ticker ADA. Really appreciate you guys for listening to me to reading charts. Again, no bias, no I have really no feelings towards Cardano. I'm not an investor in Cardano. I'm just reading what I'm seeing in front of the charts. The risk is definitely increasing, so definitely invest with a strong stomach, if you may, because like the sell off could be relatively drastic if the movie plays out that way, right? But appreciate you and stay tuned for this to come up. Take care.